coming from Jasmyne Cannick, who's the co-founder of the Los Angeles Black Gay and Lesbian Coalition.
Hi, everyone. Last question of this round, and hopefully you guys will feel comfortable answering it. Given the very serious allegations that have been made against the LAPD in a certain widespread manifesto, coupled with the documented history that we know African Americans have had in the city with the LAPD as it relates to racism, mistreatment, and abuse, if you were mayor today, would you join the growing chorus of Angelinos of all colors in this city in asking Chief Beck and the LAPD to launch an internal investigation into the claims that are being made in the spirit of a more transparent and open police department?
And to the claims that are being made by Mr. Christopher Dorner. Let's not
Dorner.
Let's not skirt it. Let's not skirt it. The claims that are being made by Mr. Christopher Dorner, who is at large right now as we speak. He's made some specific allegations about racism and discrimination in the department, LAPD, that he says was the impetus for his, what he's doing, okay, that caused him to go a little cuckoo. So, what would you do? All right, let's start with Mr. James.
Any allegations of racism and discrimination ought to be investigated within the LAPD, no matter where they come from. If there's any basis for them, that question should be answered. And if there's any particular group or any particular community or any particular segment of the department of a community that's affected, it is our responsibility to answer to them. The LAPD is paid for by you. I heard a moment ago this statement that, well, we don't control the schools. Okay, well, that's not the answer. You do control the school funding. And that was my point, if it wasn't clear enough before. That if you've got someone that will step up and talk about the problems, talk about the inequality, talk about the discrimination, admit it, like people in public office are so afraid to do, then you can change it.
Thank you. I was raised in a family, if you remember back, when my father headed up something called the Special Investigations Division, long before he was elected district attorney. It was the first time that we went after Los Angeles police officers. Whenever there was a shooting, district attorney would roll out. My father's responsibility to go into police stations and to explain to Los Angeles police officers in a department that was still riddled with racism and homophobia and sexism, to say that if you do something wrong, we're coming after you. And one police officer came up to him. I remember being chilled about this as a son when I was about 9 years old. He said, "You know what, Mr. Garcetti? If you were lying bleeding on the street, I'd step over you and let you die." That was the culture of the department then. While things have got better, that doesn't mean that it is a perfect department or that things can't get worse. The vigilance that we have to have with this is, of course, there will be an internal investigation on this. There will be, not would you make sure that happens. There will be. I'm there right now, and there will be. But at the same time, we've got somebody out there shooting innocent police officers. We've got somebody out there that right now, we've got guards around.
Time.
All right. And we have to make sure that justice is served there, too.
Both ways.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Garcetti. Mr. Platez?
Any allegation...
Hold on, Mr. Platez. Let me get some order. Please, let's hear his answer. We know this is a hot debate. Let's hear his answer. Remain, as we have been, very polite. Thank you.
I think this is actually one of the issues that a lot of us are agreeing on. And any allegation of racism needs to be investigated. Absolutely. And look, growing up and where I grew up, I and my friends were stopped numerous times for no reason. In fact, I know a lot of people that grew up with a deep hatred of LAPD. It's a serious thing in our communities. And that needs to be addressed. Now, yes, LAPD has taken strides in the right direction, but absolutely there's more to be done. That's why the way I think about this is not necessarily for more police officers. but to increase public safety force. Not just think about LAPD, but think about public safety in general, in more broader terms. Increase the amount of peace workers, increase the amount of mental health professionals, and take away the stigma of mental health. It should be something that is part of any robust healthcare package so that we are intervening in the lives of anyone where we see some troublesome sign. That's how we need to be approaching these problems.
Thank you. Ms. Perry.
Number one, I don't want to lose focus on the fact that there is an individual who is out there and who poses a risk to all of us, regardless of our race or ethnicity. Please note that one of the individuals he killed was an African-American man. So understand that and let's be clear about that. Number two, yes, there should be a review and a public analysis of what happened in this particular case, because it may be what you call a teachable moment about changing your protocols in dealing with individuals who may have manifestations of stress that was provoked, or situational stress, or mental health issues that were never properly or adequately addressed. And then they pop out 10, 15 years later in a manner like this, which is tremendously terrifying and damaging to an entire, not only city, but region. And then cover all of yourselves, all of us, in prayer and ask him to please turn himself in.
Thank you. Very good question. And we're all saddened by the circumstances, both for Mr. Dorner, his family, all of those who have been killed, and all of those who still may remain in danger. So we're praying for all. And I hope that he will see the light and turn himself in. Thank you so much. This concludes